Joining us in our Washington studio is Ronce Almond. He's a partner at the Wicks Group. Ronce, welcome to our program.
Thank you.
So what do you make of the fact that we have not heard from the president? Not a single word, not a statement, no witch hunts, zip, nothing.
Well, it's very interesting because he's very vocal, at least on Twitter and other forums. But I think that he's being advised to keep quiet at this point. And I think there's, from the Republican side, a certain cautious optimism, given the fact that the Mueller report suggests that there should be no further indictments, at least from that viewpoint.
But just because there's no more indictments, or even if it turns out there's no evidence of collusion or any kind of criminal activity, as Nathan mentioned, his legal troubles are far from over.
Oh, absolutely. You might look at this as the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning. And I think it's more of the end of the beginning. There's a number of investigations, as Nathan indicated, both at the state level in New York and then also federal prosecutors in LA and the District of Columbia in New York that are looking at different other issues that the Mueller investigation created. So, this was only the beginning of a process, and this legal saga will continue.
Do you think the public will see this report in its entirety?
It's my belief that this report will ultimately be released in some level. I think there's going to be a huge public demand for this. And I think there's a bipartisan consensus that the report should be released. You've seen that early indications from the Hill, Senator McConnell indicating that he would like the report released. Of course, the House Democrats are anxious to get their hands on this report and any underlying documents. I think both sides are going to find parts of the report that would support their narrative. So quite frankly, I think that in that way, this will come out. Of course, the 2020 election cycle is coming up, and the drumbeat from the presidential candidates will demand it. And
that was going to be my next question, the impact on the 22 elections. You answered that question. Let me move on to Bill Barr, the Attorney General, who was picked by President Trump. Of course, Trump is his boss. Do you think Bill Barr has already shared the findings of this report with the White House?
I don't believe so. I think that William Barr is somebody that plays by the book, and it wouldn't be prudent necessarily to share at this point. Of course, he's going to report to Congress as soon as potentially tomorrow on the principal conclusions from the Mueller report. So I'm sure there's some communications going on, but the actual details of the report, and it could be very voluminous. I mean, just turn over a 500-page report with all the tens of thousands of underlying documents. It'd be impossible to get through all that in one setting anyhow.
And do you think we'll have any smoking guns in this report when it finally comes out? I mean, we already know, speculation, there's no indictments. But, I mean, what is this report really going to accomplish at the end of the day?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's obviously there's a political angle to this, but in the greater scheme of things, it's about the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. And that way, the Mueller report will serve as a historical record of what happened in the 2016 election. And, for Democrats, that might view it one way and Republicans one other, but there's a public interest in seeing how the Russians interfered in the election.
All right, we'll leave it there. Ronce Almond, thank you so much.